So today I wanted to try something a bit different. We all know that the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC is coming out pretty soon, and I know a lot of you guys probably have some OP one-shot build that melts boss's health bar quicker than, hot knife through butter. But I know some of you guys don't have that and probably want to rework and try a different build for the DLC. In that case, I got you. But that's not the only reason why I'm doing this build guide. Ever since Elden Ring came out, a lot of people were discrediting every build that wasn't purely strength, guts based or whatever. And I kinda hated that. Like, bro, let people play the game how they want. I mean, it's their money that bought it in the first place. Like, come on. Anyways, I just wanted to prove to those people that strength builds are as or even more OP than some other builds that they hate on. So yeah, let's get into the run. Today I wanted to focus on a strength build with a weapon that not even myself have used for an entire run. The weapon I'm talking about is the Giant Crusher. It's a strictly strength based weapon that requires 60, strength to use. Wait, what the 60? Okay, don't panic, I got y'all. Let's get into the build for real this time. Okay, first things first, we're gonna teleport our way to Caelid Tunnel and try not to get sniped by the heat-seeking bullets. How does that even work biologically? Anyways, we're here to kill the dragon, which everyone knows about because it gives us a lot of runes. So we're gonna head straight to the grace point and kill... Yeah, you got fooled. We're actually gonna kill Patches first so we can get the pickled foul foot and the cookbook to get even more runes from the dragon. Activate the grace, then head back to Patches and show no mercy. I mean, if you want, you can just spare him, but he's kind of a dick and he low-key wanted to kill us first, so technically it's self-defense. And you can say, oh, but we took his stuff and we're in his cave. You can't really own a cave, by the way, so it's still self-defense on our part. So yeah, moving on. Get the pickled foulfoot and cookbook, head straight back to the dragon and kill it. We're gonna make sure to level up strength only since the Giant Crusher requires 60 strength to wield properly. Now, sure, that makes it technically an endgame level weapon, but you can technically wield it earlier if you have 40 strength, so that's why we're gonna do majority of the run. Next up, we're gonna fight the Knight Cavalry on the bridge. Now you might be thinking that we're too low level to fight it, but don't worry because we're gonna let him jump off the cliff. First, we're gonna let him follow us on the path on the bridge so he can just die. Yeah, he just died like that, which was the plan, but I thought he would jump towards us and not just get lost and die randomly. Anyways, mission accomplished, I guess. After this, we should have enough runes to get our 40 strength. Now, we're gonna make our way to Altus by collecting the medallions so we can get the Giant Crusher. So yeah, grab the Giant Crusher and boom, we finally have the most crucial part of the build. But we aren't done just as yet, cause we still have to upgrade this guy, preferably up to plus 17 before any major boss fights and plus 24 before Morga. This part is usually my least favorite when it comes on to starting new runs with regular weapons since it's kinda tedious gathering the materials, but trust me, it's gonna be worth it in the end. Okay, so now we have a plus 17 giant hammer, and don't worry, I'll drop the link to the Reddit post that will show you how to upgrade your weapons to plus 24 before reaching the mountaintops. I've been using that as a guide for my new runs recently. Shout out to the guy that made that. It comes in like pretty fucking handy. Anyways, we make our way back to defeat Margit, and as you can tell, we are doing good damage on him. Then we fight Godric. He wasn't hard or anything, but as you can tell, my health is not doing so good right now. And that's one thing about this build that I don't like. In the early stages, our defenses and health are going to be super low, so if you're following me, I would recommend you to fight as much field bosses as possible to get enough runes to level up. So yeah, this build is the hull up, let him cook build, since it's slow in the beginning but pays off towards the end. After defeating Godric, we get his great rune, which is going to help make up for our super low stats. Then we're gonna fight the Falling Star Beast in Altus, which drops some Smithing Stone 6, and we're gonna head to the giant skull close by the church where Millicent is to get some Smithing Stone 7s and 1-8, which will make us be able to level up our weapon to plus 19. We're also gonna want the Golden Scarab for extra runes, so make sure to get that. Then we're gonna try to fight the Putrid Tree avatar in Caelid. Technically, we are still way too underleveled to fight it, however, our damage output is pretty decent, so we can definitely do this, right? Well, after countless times of getting one-shotted, we finally emerge victorious and we get a whopping 141k runes. Remember, always use the Golden Scarab and Pickled Foulfoots. Anyways, we still have another major boss to take down, and that's Renala, which, as you can imagine, this weapon was demolishing her. Could it do better? Probably, but for me this is good damage. We take her out and we make our way to Altus for good this time. So since we're in Aldous, we're gonna try to take on the tree sentinel guarding the capital, and yeah, we're doing great damage. We also die as soon as we kill it, but we still got our runes, so I'm not really tripping. The next step is to get to Mogwin Palace, which is a super late game area. However, you can access it pretty early on with the power of an internet connection. To get there, we need to start Varys' questline at the Rose Church in Lunaria, invade 3 people and get a maiden's blood on a cloth, get our fingers ripped off, and get rewarded with a medal that can teleport us straight to the palace. After getting there, we're gonna get some Smithing Stone 7 and 4 Smithing Stone 8s. After that, we make our way to the sewers back in Lane Dale to get 1 Smithing Stone 8 and a couple Smithing Stone 7s, where the giant lobsters are. Doing this will allow us to put our weapon at plus 23. We then make our way to Mount Gelmir to get the Golden Vow spell, which is gonna increase the physical damage and buff us with damage negation for 80 seconds. After this, we're gonna be focusing on getting our faith up to 25 so we can use it. And I just realized something. There's actually a tier that allows you to get 10 more faith level on your character for 3 minutes each time. It can be found pretty early on in the Weeping Peninsula. It's called the Faith Not Crystal tier. Honestly, I recommend using this in the beginning since you can invest in more important stats, but I do recommend getting your faith up to 25 by mid to end game, because some bosses might last a bit longer than 3 minutes. Remember when I said that this build requires a lot in the beginning? This is what I'm talking about, which makes me kind of worried since we need to focus on other aspects such as stamina to wear better armor so we have better damage negation, and also more health so we don't die from 2 hits from any bosses. So what I'm gonna do is fight some extra bosses in Altus and Caelid so I can get enough runes to put my faith up to 25. After fighting those bosses, we head straight to Radahn, and as you can see, he's getting jumped. And look at the damage we're doing. Sure, again, we could be doing more, but I'm cool with what I have. And in no time, Radahn is finished. Like, he didn't even get time to go into his second phase. That's crazy. After defeating Radahn, we then head straight to Ranni to start her questline and go down to Nokron and fight ourselves to death. We then make our way to the other Eternal City to fight Estelle so we can get to the Moonlight Altar to get the remaining Smithing Stone 8. However, I was a bit scared to fight Estelle with the amount of health I currently have, so I decided I needed more runes. And who is the best person for that, you might ask? Well, Rykard, since we can get the Spear, level it up to plus 6 or 7 and kill him pretty easily. Now, he did kill me the first time, but fortunately we got him the second time. He gives us around 200k runes, which I used to put my strength up to 52 and also leveled up my health a bit. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, before defeating Rykard, I also got the Royal Knight Resolve Ash of War, which will be your main Ash of War since I'm kind of getting tired of using the Lion's Claw. After that, I upgraded my Mimic tier to plus 10 to fight Estelle, only to forget that I didn't have the Spirit Bell. Like, come on bro, what the hell? Which sucked, but we managed to defeat him anyways, first try too, so no worries. After defeating Estelle, we make our way up to the Moonlight Altar and get the 6 remaining Smithing Stone 8 and went back to kill Garang. Is that how you say his name? Anyways, we kill him because we want the Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone. And come on now, don't give me any bad look. He was the only person I knew that had it, and also I was just too lazy to explore anywhere else to look for it, so yeah, I don't know. After that, we were finally able to get our Giant Crusher to plus 25, which is pretty impressive considering the fact that we haven't even fought Morgoth yet. And speaking of Morgoth, he got his guts torn out by us. Pause, but I mean, he didn't even stand a chance. Bro literally got washed in a couple of hits, like look at this. After defeating Morgoth, we go up to the mountaintops and defeat the Frost Dragon. We make our way to Commander Nile and look how much damage we're doing. Like holy shit, I'm impressed with the Giant Crusher so far. Sure, it takes a while to get this build up and going, but it really does pay off at the end. We get the medallion and also the second one, then we make our way up to the Fire Giant. Also, a little side note, I did some research and I found out the best way to capitalize on Royal Knight Resolve is to get the Axe Talisman, which boosts charge attacks, and the Spiked Crack tier, which also boosts charge attacks. And as you can see here, we're doing good damage in the first phase. Now there's something I realized in the beginning of this build that I forgot to mention, and that is I forgot to get the Iron Wet Blade, so the Royal Knight Resolve can be scaled with strength. I be doing some goofy shit sometimes like that, I don't know why. Like how can I forget that? But who cares, we're still doing good damage at the end of the day. We then get teleported to Farm Azula and definitely did not get jumped by the beastmen there. Then we went straight to Placidusax, and I know someone is getting really tired about how I pronounce it. I don't know if it's Placidusax or Placidusax, who cares? The giant 2, technically 5-headed dragon. Not gonna lie, this fight really didn't go the way I wanted it to. I felt like I could have done more damage, which I could, but again, I forgot to scale RKR with heavy, which might have been the issue. But I still defeated him at the end of the day on the first try as well, so up next is Malekith. Not gonna lie, I was a bit scared of Malekith since he's usually turbo to fight against with strength builds because of his, nimbleness, but me and the Mimic tier cleared him on the first try. We then defeated Gideon and literally two-shotted him. It's funny because his dialogue was literally longer than the fight itself. After that, we went on to fight Godfrey, and the fight was a bit rough at first. Every time I tried to hit him with the charged attack, he would just move his body causing me to miss, or he would just straight up knock me out of the animation. But we finally defeated him first try without the Mimic tier, so let's head on to Radagon and Elden Beast. And as you can guess, Radagon went down with ease and so did the Elden Beast. And that's it, the run is over. The build was good, but I feel like there are way more, better builds out there. So yeah, the video is over. That's it. Okay, I'm just playing. We know the real reason why a lot of people wanted to create OP builds in the first place, and that's to fight a little infamous redhead known as
Melenia, Blade of Mikola.
On our way to fight Melenia, we get some freezing pots to cancel out Waterfowl Dance. So yeah, I'm prepared to fight her now. Let's see how this goes. And I got my ass handed to me. 2 times to be exact. However, this is when I decided to put the heavy affinity onto Royal Knight Resolve, and I cleared all her first phase by myself and summoned the Mimic tier to help me out with the second, and we were able to finish her in 3 tries, which is pretty good, because recently there were times where it took me around 9 tries to finally kill her, so yeah, 3 is much better. Those times were with a dex build, and this is with a strength build, so yeah, I feel like strength builds with a decent Ash of War can literally shred Melenia. Oh yeah, one last thing. How could we forget about Mogwin, or Mogwin, whatever you guys want to say. So I forgot to mention him or to fight him, so let's just fight him now. Damn, that was easy without any Mimic tier or anything. That is crazy, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, this build is pretty okay. It's not my favorite by any means, since it does take a lot of investment in the early to mid game for it to be good. But other than that, the damage output is pretty great, and I feel like if you're going into the DLC with this build, you will definitely have a decent time there. However, on my journey to find the most OP build for the DLC, I think this one just gets an 8, since again, it's a bit slow and it does take a lot of stat investment. But again, the damage is super great and everything pays off towards the end. Anyway, shout out to my Patreon member, and if you want to see more build videos like this, and if you want a specific build for a video, then comment what you'd like to see. I'm currently working on a Lady Maria build, so look out for that. Anyways, thanks for watching the video, and I hope you all have a good day or night.